Welcome back to a chapter a day. It is Monday, beginning of a new week, and it is May the 20th. But I missed yesterday, Sunday, May the 19th. So I have two chapters to read today. So let's get started. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, This is the ordinance of the law which the Lord hath commanded, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they bring thee a red heifer without spot, wherein is no blemish, and upon which never came yoke. And you shall give her unto Eleazar the priest, that he may bring her forth without the camp, and one shall slay her before his face. And Eleazar the priest shall take of her blood with his finger, and sprinkle of her blood directly before the tabernacle of the congregation 7 times. And one shall burn the heifer in his sight. Her skin and her flesh and her blood with her dung shall he burn. So this is the ordinance. I'm not quite sure for what, but this is what they're supposed to do for some specific ordinance. And it's a red heifer. A heifer is a female cow, and that reddish color that we've seen on cows at times, that's the specific type of animal that God is requesting, and a specific way that they were supposed to sacrifice for this particular ordinance of the law. Verse 6, And the priest shall take cedar wood and hyssop and scarlet, and cast it into the midst of the burning of the heifer. Then the priest shall wash his clothes, and he shall bathe his flesh in water, and afterward he shall come into the camp, and the priest shall be unclean until the even. And he that burneth her shall wash his clothes in water, and bathe his flesh in water, and shall be unclean until the even. And the man that is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer, and lay them up without the camp in a clean place, and it shall be kept for the congregation of the children of Israel for a water of separation. It is a purification for sin. And he that gathereth the ashes of the heifer shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the even, and it shall be unto the children of Israel and unto the stranger that sojourneth among them for a statute forever. So again, I'm not quite sure of the specific ordinance that this heifer is supposed to be for. Prior to this, God gave the children of Israel instructions about different types of offerings to be given to the Levites. So I'm not sure if this is also one, or if it's in particular to whatever type of ordinance of the law that was mentioned before. So verse 11, He that toucheth the dead body of any man shall be unclean 7 days. He shall purify himself with it on the 3rd day. And on the 7th day he shall be clean. But if he purify not himself the 3rd day, then the 7th day he shall not be clean. Whosoever toucheth the dead body of any man that is dead, and purifieth not himself, defileth the tabernacle of the Lord, and that soul shall be cut off from Israel, because the water of separation was not sprinkled upon him. He shall be unclean. His uncleanness is yet upon him. This is the law when a man dieth in a tent. All that cometh into the tent, and all that is in the tent, shall be unclean 7 days. And every open vessel which has no covering bound upon it is unclean. So I know when I was growing up in Trinidad, we used to have a time when people would have their dead bodies, their relatives, displayed in the home. And I guess it's because mortuaries were not very common yet. Refrigeration was not a big thing just yet. So I know the body would be there either a day or more. Serious. I remember literally seeing this neighbor of ours, because they had a glass door to the front of their home, and I could see through the glass door, and her body was lying there in the coffin, and that was like for the day. So again, I think maybe people did that because of the non-availability of the freezing in mortuaries, or there weren't many mortuaries in which to put the dead. But here it is not a clean thing for you to have the dead around you for any time, or to come close to a dead person. I know we have open casket viewings for funerals, and we go up and some people touch that corpse, and you know, this here was that was forbidden here. You were not supposed to touch the dead, or you would be unclean. If you did have to, because somebody had to dress the body to prepare it for burial, or for, like I said, the mourning, because a lot of times the bodies would be present when the mournings would be taking place. But if you did, you were considered unclean and had to be go through a sort of some steps for you to become clean after that time. Verse 16, and whosoever toucheth one that is slain with a sword in the open fields, or a dead body, or a bone of a man, or a grave, shall be unclean 7 days. And for an unclean person they shall take of the ashes of the burnt heifer of purification for sin, and running water shall be put thereto in a vessel. And a clean person shall take hyssop, and dip it in the water, and sprinkle it upon the tent, and upon the vessels, and upon the persons that were there, and upon him that touched a bone, or one slain, or one dead, or a grave. And the clean person shall sprinkle upon the unclean on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day, and on the 7th day shall purify himself, and wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and shall be clean at even. But the man that shall be unclean, and shall not purify himself, that soul shall be cut off from among the congregation, because he has defiled the sanctuary of the Lord. The water of the separation hath not been sprinkled upon him, he is unclean. So let me see if I understand what's taking place here. The red heifer was supposed to be burnt. The ashes were supposed to be put into some type of water and kept like a special type of purification method. So when someone needed to be purified, like from touching a dead body, or someone who was slain, they were supposed to go to the tabernacle, and the priest would perform a ceremony on them using the water from that burnt heifer. So apparently that was the significance of the red heifer being burnt. Verse 21. And it shall be a perpetual statute unto them, that he that sprinkleth the water of separation shall wash his clothes, and he that toucheth the water of separation shall be unclean until even. And whatsoever the unclean person toucheth shall be unclean, and the soul that toucheth it shall be unclean until even. So that is for someone touching a dead person, or in proximity of a dead person or dead thing. They were supposed to go through a process of purification. And I know, as I said, today we are very open with our dead. We, as relatives, most times we come close to the dead person and touch them because they were our loved ones. But I don't know if that is what was supposed to take place. God gave the children of Israel instructions against touching the dead. So this was the ceremony that had to be done, and if the person did not do it, they were considered unclean. So chapter 20, that was the end of chapter 19, now chapter 20. Then came the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, into the desert of Zin in the 1st month, and the people abode in Kadesh, and Miriam died there and was buried there. And there was no water for the congregation, and they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron. And the people chode with Moses, and spake, saying, Would God that we had died when our brethren died before the Lord. And why have you brought up the congregation of the Lord into this wilderness, that we and our cattle should die here? And wherefore have you made us to come up out of Egypt to bring us in unto this evil place? It is no place of seed, or of figs, or of vines, or of pomegranates, neither is there any water to drink. Oh boy, on and on we go. How many times have we encountered the murmurings of the children of Israel? We just left them off murmuring in chapter 17 or 18. And God had to deal with them. Here we go again. But I guess it's a huge multitude, so I guess at different times it's different people who are becoming dissatisfied. And of course, Moses is representative of the head and Aaron, so they go to Moses and Aaron with their complaints. Again, it is because they have no food or fruits or things that they would like to eat, and no water. Verse 6. And Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and they fell upon their faces, and the glory of the Lord appeared unto them. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Take the rod, and gather thou the assembly together, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak ye unto the rock before their eyes, and it shall give forth his water. And thou shalt bring forth to them water out of the rock. So thou shalt give the congregation and their beasts drink. And Moses took the rod from before the Lord, as he commanded him. And Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock, and he said unto them, Hear now, ye rebels, must we fetch you water out of this rock? So, by now you would think the children of Israel would just go to Moses and Aaron and say, Hey, we need some water. Nope, they have to murmur, they have to complain. And God again gives Moses instructions as to how he will give them water. God is always supplying our needs, even when we are most disgruntled. And he tells Moses this time to speak to the rock. Verse 11, And Moses lifted up his hand, and with his rod he smote the rock twice, and the water came out abundantly, and the congregation drank, and their beasts also. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, Because ye believed me not, to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore you shall not bring this congregation into the land which I have given them. This is the water of Meribah, because the children of Israel strove with the Lord, and he was sanctified in them. And Moses sent messengers from Kadesh unto the king of Edom. Thus saith thy brother Israel, Thou knowest all the travail that has befallen us, how our fathers went down into Egypt, and we have dwelt in Egypt a long time, and the Egyptians vexed us and our fathers. So Moses did not do exactly as God said. He stroked the rock instead of speaking to the rock, and God reprimanded him for doing that, told him that he and Aaron would not bring forth the children of Israel into the land. Okay, so now they're going through to the king of Edom, and they're he sent messengers ahead to maybe prepare the way. Edom is Esau, so he's really their brethren. That's their family members in Edom. So let's see what happens. Verse 16. And when we cried unto the Lord, he heard our voice and sent an angel, and hath brought us forth out of Egypt. And behold, we are in Kadesh, a city in the uttermost of thy border. Let us pass, I pray thee, through thy country. We will not pass through the fields or through the vineyards, neither will we drink of the water of the wells. We will go by the king's highway. We will not turn to the right hand nor to the left, until we have passed thy borders. And Edom said unto him, Thou shalt not pass by me, lest I come out against thee with the sword. And the children of Israel said unto him, We will go by the highway, and I and my cattle drink of thy water, then I will pay for it. I will only, without doing anything else, go through on my feet. And he said, Thou shalt not go through. And Edom came out against him with much people and with a strong hand. So this is their own brethren. They are asking permission to go through the land. And the people, the king, well, I guess it would be the leaders of the land, are refusing them and saying no, they will not. Moses is even offering to pay if they do use any of their supplies while passing through, and they still refuse them. Verse 21. Thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through his border, wherefore Israel turned away from him. And the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, journeyed from Kadesh and came unto Mount Hor. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in Mount Hor, by the coast of the land of Edom, saying, Aaron shall be gathered unto his people, for he shall not enter into the land which I have given unto the children of Israel, because ye rebelled against my word at the water of Meribah. Take Aaron and Eleazar his son, and bring them up unto Mount Hor, and strip Aaron of his garments, and put them upon Eleazar his son, and Aaron shall be gathered unto his people, and shall die there. And Moses did as the Lord will. So here's what's happening before I go on. The children of Israel refused to let the children of Israel go through. So they went around another way through Mount Hor. And God spake unto Moses and Aaron and told them that he was not going to let them go into the promised land with the children of Israel because of their rebellion, which is not doing what God said at the water of Meribah, where they struck the rock instead of speaking to the rock. So God is giving Moses instructions to bring Aaron up to the mountain with Eleazar his son, and he would be stripping off the garments from Aaron to put onto Eleazar, because Aaron was going to die. Verse 27, and Moses did as the Lord commanded, and they went up into Mount Hor in the sight of all the congregation. And Moses stripped Aaron of his garments and put them upon Eleazar his son. And Aaron died there in the top of the mount. And Moses and Eleazar came down from the mount. And when all the congregation saw that Aaron was dead, they mourned for Aaron 30 days, even all the house of Israel. So Aaron died up on Mount Hor, and I don't know if anyone knows of his exact burial place, because this, I would say, is one of the few times that when someone died, they did not get a burial, like how Miriam died and she was buried, they mourned for her. Aaron died on the top of the mount. Only Moses and Aaron came down. They did not bring down Aaron's body, so that people can say that is Aaron buried there, or Moses buried here, or whoever buried where. Even today they're having a tomb in Israel that people are visiting, and they could swear that's where Jesus was buried. That's what they're going to visit. At least it's an empty tomb, so at least we can keep our faith secure. But I won't even bother to go and look at that, because you know what? God only knows, and that is my statement for most things that people are claiming to know. God only knows. So Aaron has died, and we will continue reading. Those were chapters 20 and 21. Once again, thank you for listening. Thank you for viewing. Until our next reading, remember, faith comes by hearing God's word. Have a great day and a great week ahead. Bye.